Feng Shui in the bedroom. Hi there, it's Brigitte from Soul Space Feng Shui in Melbourne. I want to talk about bedroom Feng Shui today because that's actually one of the most important things in a home. We just want to get that right. It's important so we can recharge our energies, important for health and well-being, vitality. You want to actually be able to wake up recharged and full of energy. Most of us, unfortunately, don't. It's quite common nowadays for people not to sleep well, and there are many reasons why this could be so. One is the forms in Feng Shui, which I'll be talking about today. I'll do another video later about electromagnetic radiation. Okay, so let's begin. The qualities that a bedroom should have is to support your health and well-being, should give you vitality and recharge you, should give you a real deep sleep. Like you should sleep like a bear, so to speak. You should feel supported and safe. Of course, it should also give us happiness. And there's other things you may be wanting to do in your bedroom, like look out the window in the morning and have coffee or read your book and so on. But the most important thing is what we consider the yin aspect of Feng Shui is to recharge us, to give us energy, to nurture us, to help, to support our health and well-being. And there's a lot of things that are going wrong in many homes nowadays, and I just want to address that. The yin part of Feng Shui is associated with the nervous system that gives us rest and digest, that supports the body to function and to continue to function well. That's in contrast to the yang, the fight-flight part, which in our society, most of us, or a lot of us, are in perhaps too much. So rest and digest is what falls short, and we can do quite a bit in Feng Shui to help that along. So yin support sits in walls or in heavy furniture and things that particularly behind and around us. If you imagine a cave or so, that's one of the most yin spaces. You just have one view out and otherwise are protected. And I think traditionally people who lived in caves chose that because it's protective. Like, you won't be attacked from behind. In a building, it is, as I said, it's the wall behind you. It's the solid furniture. For example, in a bedroom, it's not just the wall behind you, but it's also your bed head that gives you that solid support. In Feng Shui, we use the armchair position, which is an analogy we use for the placement of things and for the creation of spaces. So an armchair has a solid back and it has side support. So it gives you command of a space, or you can look out from that and feel quite secure and protected, particularly if that armchair is in front of a wall, even more so, makes it more yin. In terms of a bed, we definitely want a wall behind, a bed head, a solid bed head rather than a flimsy one, and the side support is provided by the bedside tables. In Feng Shui, we call the armchair position also the power position. So it's not just the bedside tables and the back support, it's also the position of the bed in relation to the door and the windows. So you definitely don't want the bed in front of a window, and also not exposed in any way to the doorways. So the power position we speak of in Feng Shui has view of the door, of the entrance to the bedroom, and of the window. It's protected. That's an example here. There are many things that I find are going wrong in modern houses with the bedrooms. And one of them is that there are too many doors or too many pathways. So doors and walkways are yang. So anything that's yang is disturbing the yin, or is disturbing your ability to recharge and really rest there. There may be the door to the ensuite, to the wardrobe. Sometimes there are two, often behind, making traffic around you. There may be a door or even a double door into the bedroom. So that can create a lot of busyness and traffic that actually affects our subconscious when you sleep there and can disturb you. So we don't want too many doorways. Interestingly, the traditional Chinese Feng Shui masters would be quite appalled by having toilets and bathrooms in the bedroom as we do now, and understand it's a need many people have and definitely a convenience. But we do want to make sure that they are ideally not facing the bed directly, and definitely keep the door closed if that is so. The wardrobe or the walk-in often doesn't have a door, which I find quite disturbing, and it's almost like, or it can be like a black hole that you may be looking into if that's not shut off. So if there are doors, definitely close them. Much better if the wardrobe and the ensuite are not facing the bed directly. When the bed is in front of a wall behind which the wardrobe is located, sometimes with two walkways, it can make quite a bit of traffic. I choose to, in the Feng Shui design I'm involved in, not to do this, but place the wardrobe away from the bed. So really, in the end, we want to make sure that the bed has that protection behind and on the side without being disturbed constantly, either by yourself or a partner. Of course, we don't want to have the bed under a window. A window lets in yang energy, so it's disturbing for your deep rest and sleep. I think most people know that. Similarly, we don't want to have a mirror reflecting the bed, because that doubles the energy again. It makes more movement, it doubles everything. In the 80s and 90s, with new modern homes, people had the mirrors reflecting the bed, and it seemed to become common knowledge not to do that anymore. But I find nowadays, as we are building small apartments, that the mirrors are coming back onto the wardrobe doors, which is disturbing the feeling of protection, the cave-like nature, which is actually good for sleep and well-being. Another thing that can go wrong is when the bed itself is cut by the doorway from the main door, particularly. So if you have the door on the side of the bed and the pathway cuts right across your body, we find that people tend to get problems, physical problems, where that passageway comes across, maybe your abdomen or your knees or your chest or your neck. It's absolutely not a good idea. It's a big mistake. And if you have such a situation, try to move your bed around, or if there is no other place to put the bed, perhaps there is enough room to put a screen, so you actually have to come around that to see the bed, so you're not so exposed to this door. Another thing that's not great is if the bed is on the same wall as the door. So you have your door here behind you, and you sleep with your head against the same wall as the door. You're quite exposed to someone coming in, and you would feel much more startled, in a sense, if that occurred, than if your bed was on the opposite wall and you could actually see the door and have command of the space. So we're trying to avoid that as well. And of course, there are always compromises, and we can do adjustments with screens or furniture to make the best out of every situation. Again, with the objective to give you the best yin support, the best sleep and recharging of energy that you can possibly have. Sometimes we find that the side support is really weak, so the bed feels quite exposed, and that can be if it maybe just a little stool that's not solid enough on the side, just a flimsy sort of thing that may not give you enough side support. It can also happen if the bedroom is relatively too open, like if it's a big space, there's your bed on one side, and otherwise there's a lot of movement and energy because it's quite open and exposed. So in a way, there is a relative size that feels right, that gives us enough support so we can do the other things that are important in the bedroom as well. But if a space is too open, there's too much yang energy and movement, which again disturbs our rest, the yin part. I find many master bedrooms are now located in the front of the house. People often like it because they then can protect the kids that may be sleeping at the back, which absolutely is a valid reason. But at the same time, if you are protecting while you sleep the rest of your family, you're not really sleeping that deeply. So the front of the house is quite a yang and active space. Ideally, that's where, well, we don't put the bedroom. The bedrooms should be quite private and protected, so you can totally relax and recharge. Another issue that occurs, and that's the opposite one to too open, is if there are too many things in the bedroom where it becomes too cluttered. So that's very yin clutter, but energy can become stagnant if there is too much stuff. So in the end, we do want the right balance between openness and protection, so you can totally rest and recharge. Just imagine yourself being curled up in some favorite place, maybe in your home or in a space that you would love to have, where you feel so supported that you can go to sleep easily and where you wake up refreshed and recharged. That's what we want to achieve with the bedroom. Another thing is that a bedroom can be too cold. Nowadays, many bedrooms are grey. The themes of the homes are black and white, which is the color or the element of water and metal. That's often overrepresented in the current buildings, and that's quite cold. It's not providing the warmth that you may need when you sleep, or where you feel completely held and comfortable and nurtured. It's a personal thing to some extent, but we do all need a balance between warmth and nurturing the Mother Earth energy, which is warm. It's a warm thing, rather than just the focus and cutting energy of metal or the coldness of water. So in the end, if you start with the quality and really feel into what your bedroom should give you in terms of health, in terms of recharging your energy, also in terms of giving you pleasure in whatever way, the Sunday mornings in bed, where you love the morning sun to come in. All these things are important. But as a bedroom, the yin function is definitely an important thing for everyone. We all need to be healthy and resilient so we can achieve and do our next days. Thank you very much. If you liked this video, there is a link below where you can get a free gift if you subscribe to my mailing list. Otherwise, come back to this channel, like and subscribe. Thank you.